Hello guys, today in this video we are going to talk about the play Tughlaq written by Girish Karnad. First of all, introduction to the author. One of the notable dramatists of younger generation comes of a Saraswat Konki family of Mangalore. Born in 1938 in Mathura near Bombay, he went to the United Kingdom for higher studies and joined the Oxford University. He was a Rhodes Scholar and took an active part in the cultural activities of the university. It was while at Oxford that he started writing plays in Kannada. His first play Yayati was a great success. His second play Tughlaq was staged in UK after returning to India. He stayed for a time at Dharwad and was closely connected with many dramatic clubs. Kannad employs mythical, historical, and folk themes as the skeleton for his plays, but the clothing he gives them identifies them with the contemporary scene. His dramas are amusing satires on the many social and political forces at work in present day India. As we read these plays, we feel that history and Purana repeat themselves. Karnad has done substantial service to introduce the folk traditions into his drama and thus expand the very horizon of the Indian stage. When we view his total dramatic output, we cannot fail to be impressed by the loftiness of his artistic perception and creativity. He seems to be an all invest wrestler to whom no corner of the platform is bare. He tries his hand at all the genres of the dramatic art. Hayavadana and Tughlaq, the last one being a masterpiece. It is a classic of its kind. It was written in Kannada and then was translated into English, and it at once persuaded him to the first rank of Indo-Anglican dramatists. Now, introduction to the play. Tughlaq was published in Kannada in 1964. It is Girish Karnad's school play. His first play was Yayati. Tughlaq was an immediate success on the stage. It was first produced in Kannada in 1965 and was also done about the same time in Hindi by National School of Drama. In 1917, there was an English production of first staged at the Bhulbhai Auditorium, Bombay in August 1970. As pointed out by U.R.A. Murthy, it is not hard to account for the immediate response the play has received from Kannada as well as other audiences. One can enjoy the play on the stage without paying much attention to its rich and complex symbolism and the subtle weaving of its different motifs. The play has an interesting story, an intricate plot, scope of spectacle, and uses dramatic conventions like the comic pair, Aziz and Azam, to which theatre audiences respond readily. Another reason for Tughlaq's appeal to Indian audiences, according to U.R.A. Murthy, is that it is a play of 60s and reflects as no other play perhaps does the political mood of disillusionment which followed the Nehru era of idealism in the country. Now, A summary of the play. Girish Karnad's play Tughlaq opens with a conflict between the followers and opponents of Tughlaq. The Sultan has annoyed the majority of Orthodox Muslims by his reformatory policies and tolerance for all religions. Due consideration to Hindus, abolition of jizya tax, change of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, which is a Hindu-dominated city, and his strong and unfailing sense of justice. Thus, tension is introduced with the very first sentence, God, what's this country coming to? The Orthodox people fail to understand Tughlaq's idealism and reformatory zeal. They condemn him as an enemy of Islam. In fact, he is a devout Muslim with full faith in the Holy Quran, but his rationalistic and ideal views are beyond the comprehension of his subjects. People know Tughlaq's weakness, that he has been guilty of murdering his father and brother. There has been rebellion in Kanpur just after his father's murder. Thus, from the very first scene, the plot is developed on opposites, the ideal and the spurious in Tughlaq's character. The ironical episode of Aziz and Azam, which runs parallel to Tughlaq's, is introduced in the opening scene. It is indeed ironical that Aziz, from the very beginning, exploits the Sultan's policies to fulfill his own interest. First of all, he disguises himself as Vishnu Prasad. Due to this contradiction in Tughlaq's character, rebellions take place in his kingdom. He is an idealist with an intriguing nature. He transfers in ul Mulk to Deccan and he rebels against him. A shrewd strategist, he sends his opponent Sheikh Imamuddin as an envoy with a royal message of peace to Ain ul Mulk. The Sheikh is treacherously killed and Ain ul Mulk is pardoned. The smirking and intriguing nature of Tughlaq is explained through the chess symbol. Najib acts as the Sultan's evil genius. When the Sultan goes on military expedition, he summons Shihabuddin, a pacifist, to look after the administration of Delhi. The Amirs of Delhi, Sayyidis, Sheikhs, and even the Hindu Sardar Ratan Singh hatch a conspiracy to kill Sultan Tughlaq at prayer time. They want to get rid of him because he has been killing holy persons and has been deviating from holy tenets. They condemn him for his decision to shift the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. They persuade Sahibuddin to let them. The Sultan has knowledge of this conspiracy and he orders 20 Hindu soldiers to hide behind the curtain near the throne. Tughlaq leads to prayer. Half through the prayer, a commotion is heard off stage. Taking it as a signal, Shihabuddin and the Amirs get up and pull out their daggers to kill the Sultan. The Hindu soldiers came out and surrounded the Amirs and asked them to throw down their daggers. The soldiers drag them away. Only Shihabuddin remains there. Tughlaq unhumanly kills him and a public announcement is made that Shihabuddin died a martyr while protecting the Sultan in rebellion in which the Amirs tried to assassinate him. Such in the duality of Tughlaq's nature, after this glory incident, all prayers are prohibited in the kingdom. Najib suggests that there will be no more prayers till Ghiyasuddin Abbas visits the capital. The play reaches the climax in scene 7. The capital has been shifted to Daulatabad. There has been mass exodus. Aziz, in the guise of Brahmin Vishnu Prasad, misappropriates public funds granted for relief to evacuees. This unfortunate decision of the Sultan makes him unpopular and precipitates his downfall. Thousands of people die of hunger and starvation. Those who oppose the Sultan's orders are killed. He kills even on suspicion. His kingdom is stricken with rebellions. His policy of introducing token currency fails miserably. He is frustrated. His idealism gradually vanishes. Aziz becomes a robber. Both Aziz and Azam remain in a hideout in hills. Aziz kills Ghiyasuddin Abbasid and, putting on his holy robe, disguises himself as Abbasid. Muhammad's mother gets Najib killed. For this, he is sentenced to death. This is a turning point in Tughlaq's life because without Najib, he is all alone. Nobody understands him. The Sultan welcomes Aziz Ghiyasuddin Abbasid, who comes as a holy messenger of peace to purify the land and revive the banned prayer. Tughlaq knows all about Aziz, but instead of punishing him, he appoints Aziz an officer in the army. In the end, both Tughlaq and his kingdom are in utter chaos, and he knows it. Tughlaq is tired and desperated. In a mood of utter frustration, the Sultan sits on the throne with eyes closed. As the Muezzin call for prayer fades away, the Sultan suddenly opens his eyes. He looks around, dazed and frightened. The play ends here. So guys, this is the introduction to the author, introduction to the play and the summary of the play. Thank you.